Good morning, everyone. I'm Sarah. I'm the Real Simple Mama. I'm out here with Calypso, our little invalid, and we're going to do a quick video about what to do and what to have on hand in case your chicken ever gets attacked. Good morning. We've got a lot of nature sounds out here this morning. Our new hens are back with us, starting to integrate in with the rest of Jurassic Park. But my focus this morning is going to be on Cal, who's out here with me. I did do a video last week in regards to just what was going on with her, sort of like a news update with an animal attack that we had. I've had backyard chickens for almost 5 years, and this was my first animal attack experience. So this video is going to be more technical, and it's going to be talking more about what you need to have on hand, just like ready to go as a just in case, and then in case your animal is ever attacked, what you need to do. And just as a side note, by animal attack, I mean either there was like an attempted predator attack, like a feral cat or a neighborhood dog. It could be the aerial predators like a hawk or an owl. It could be another chicken as well. So keep that in mind. But this is talking about, you have a chicken who's got, you see blood basically. And this is not going to be a graphic video because she's actually healed up. She's been in here for a week and a half. So, her skin is closing up. We don't have like a brand new flesh wound, but we're going to be talking about what to do in case your chicken has, as graphic as this may sound, has been torn open, right? Like you see blood, there is a significant flesh wound. So the two things you need to do, you go outside or you hear something and you run out and you find a chicken of yours. They're not dead, but they've obviously been attacked. You see blood, there's a flesh wound. The two things you need to do is you need to clean the wound, and you need to get the bird somewhere alone where they're isolated and it's calm and it's quiet. Those are the first two things. The first, like I said, is clean the wound, and I'll show you what I use. And the second is that they need to be isolated. They need to be somewhere because honestly, your chicken's going to be in shock. Chickens being animals who are typically prey, they will hide injury and hide illness as best as they can. So they're not going to be making a ton of screaming noise, flapping around, freaking out, because that would attract a predator even more. So they're probably going to do more of the just laying still type thing. With Callie, the way her wound was, you actually have to pull her feathers way out of the way to see. But of course, there were feathers all over the ground. And then once you checked her out, she had a really big, long flesh wound. It was probably about 3 inches long, maybe 4. So as far as cleaning the wound, I'll show you what I recommend. And this is just so, hopefully you've not had an animal attack yet. You're just building your toolkit at home of things that you have on hand. The thing that I recommend the most is Vetericin. They sell a version for horses and a version for dogs and cats. I cannot tell you if the formulation is different than the poultry care, so I just buy the poultry care. You can see my affiliate link down in the video description, but essentially this is, as you can see, it's for open wounds. There's the ingredients and stuff here, and it cleans the wound for you, and you don't have to do anything. You don't have to wipe it. You don't have to wrap it. You don't do anything. You just spray this and let it air dry. So once you make sure that the wound is clean, and I would use, paper towels and warm water, you're trying to get any of the excess feathers out of there, any dirt, and make sure that the wound is clean. From that point, use Vetericin. Again, this is what I use. You can use hydrogen peroxide in a pinch, but the assumption is that it's too strong for chickens. So if you have to use hydrogen peroxide, I would dilute it by about 50% with filtered water. But Vetericin, you just make sure that the wound is exposed. You spray the heck out of it with this stuff, and that's it. You don't have to wipe it. You don't have to do anything as far as wrapping the wound. You just spray this and leave it alone. So what we did for the first 5 days, we cleaned up Calypso when we found her. This is actually our old, you hear my new girls over there. This is actually our chick brooder that we used in our living room when we were first growing out chicks. And actually, that's where Calypso, this hen, was when we first got her. She was a tiny little baby, and we had her in a brooder like this. She's got a chick drinker. She's got a chick feeder. She has everything in there that she needs. And then what we were doing is, we cleaned the wound really well with warm water. I made sure I could see, the gash starts here and it ends here, so I had an idea of the parameters of it. We got, the feathers that were half ripped out and stuff. We cleaned all of that up, and we sprayed the heck out of it with like this, and then we left her alone. For about 5 days, I would spray Vetericin 3 times a day. It's one of those things where it's not really going to hurt. And then once you can tell that the wound is closing up, obviously you don't need to do that anymore. And I will say that once you have the wound clean, if she's isolated like this, the wound's not going to be getting dirty again. So I don't feel like you have to clean the wound with like soap and water or anything more than once. We just do it initially to make sure all of the gunk is out of it. And then this is to help keep it clean and to help it heal. Tick, 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 ticks. So that was the first thing that we needed to do. The other thing was just to help her because, like I said, she was in shock. We wanted to help her with pain management. Hi, Cal. And we wanted to just give her a space where she's alone. She doesn't have to try to walk around for food and water. She's just in a cool, dark space. Because it's chilly outside, I have this blanket covering most of this for most of the day because she's not up and moving around and eating a whole lot. And I also have a little, and I'm going to show you at the end of this video just like a layout of all of the stuff that I have for chicken wound care. But I have a bottle of just chewable baby aspirin, like literally like what you would buy for, I've never given it to babies, but you know, just have a little bottle of aspirin, and I crushed one up per day and put it in a little bowl with some wet dog food. Wet dog food or wet cat food is another thing that I would have on hand. They have the full-size cans, they have the little cans, and they also have pouches that are awesome. I keep some in my car in case I'm trying to like catch a stray animal, stray dog or stray cat, but I also keep it for my chickens because it's a great protein boost for them. Wet dog food or wet cat food, and I just buy the cheap stuff. It doesn't really matter. But that's really good for them if they're going through a bad molt. If you've got a chicken who just acts like they don't feel good, kind of like your kid, right? Like you're just trying to get them to eat, to get something in their system, but they don't want the normal. That wet dog food or cat food is really, really great. So she's been getting probably about a 1/4 cup of wet dog food laced with a crushed up baby aspirin once a day. And that's helping her stay calm. That's helping her with the pain. Because again, it's hard for you to know how much pain they're really in because chickens are programmed to hide it. They don't want to look weak to the rest of their flock. They don't want to be the one who's picked off by a predator. So she's now at a 1.5 weeks, and she's been in isolation the whole time. We bring her inside at night because this is not predator proof. And she's been getting her dog food. I'll tell you that the dog food, the wet dog food, makes their poop smell so bad. Like, oh, it smells so awful. And then, of course, she has access to fresh water. She has access to chicken feed. We've been giving her black oil sunflower seeds. We've been giving her grub terra. Just giving her lots of good food. Her attitude has been great. Her color is bright. She acts like she wants to live. And that's another thing you kind of need to keep in the back of your mind. At what point do you decide this isn't working? The humane thing now is to euthanize them. Calypso was having trouble walking, and that's actually how she got attacked in the first place. She didn't go up to roost at night. She just stayed down on the ground, and that's how she got attacked. But we're hoping, you know, she acts when I open the lid like she wants to stand, she wants to walk around, so time will tell. I'll do a separate video about integrating a wounded chicken, you know, somebody who's been away for a while, about getting them back in, but we're just gonna have to take it slow. It's possible that the flock is not going to it's possible that the flock is not going to invite her back. They're going to bully her and be mean to her. What you have to be sure of before you let a chicken go back in with the group is that they're healed completely. Chickens see red, metaphorically and literally, as far as, I mean, it's the same as the stereotype in cartoons with a bull, right? You show a bull a red cape and they get all angry. It's the same thing with chickens. So there cannot be any exposed blood or any exposed like raw flesh, because the chickens will just go crazy. And of course, we would not want to heal her and keep her isolated for weeks and do all of this extra stuff for her care and then put her in there just for her to get beaten up again. So we have, I'm going to pan over real quick. There's my setup up there. And we have the 3 new girls, the Java hens. I know my finger's blurry. There's the Ivituvan coop right there, our little extra coop there and there. Once those 3 girls get integrated out into the flock and they go that way, then Calypso's gonna live in there. So we're just switching everybody around with our little quarantine brooder pen and then with our little quarantine chicken coop. There is stuff that you can put on the wound to sort of protect it as they go back out. Blue coat, which is spelled like this. I don't have any yet. It's on order so that I have it for the future. Is also good as a wound is healing, but there are some things that are advertised out there that, like, you know, you put this on a wound and it colors it like purple or it colors it red or whatever. That stuff, like I said, is not good for chickens because you don't want them to see red. The same goes for like the little leg bands, like the ID bands, and I've got that on my new girls. I'll do a video about that. But you don't want red. So we need to make sure that she's healed enough that she can hold her own out there. our old matriarch, but also that the chickens don't see the wound. So if you had a chicken whose vent was all torn up, for example, or, you know, you could see the bare flesh on like the base of their tail or whatever, you gotta wait until that's healed. And like I said, there's a chance that they will never accept her back into the flock, and then she'll just be a house chicken or a little brooder chicken, and she'll just be out there with the other chickens. But if you had to buy just one thing as far as keeping a wound clean, I would get Vetericin. And I do this video just so that you guys, again, I hope that you have not had an animal attack. That's not why you found this video. You just see my content here and you're like, wow, she's beautiful and intelligent and talented and amazing, and I want to hear what she has to say. And so that you have this on hand for when you need it. Does that make sense? You've already got it at home before you ever need it. But also be thinking about, if you had a chicken get injured, do you have a box or like a dog kennel type situation? A crate is good. Something like this. This is one of those bins that you use for, like, you know, storing Christmas decorations in your attic, right? And we just cut it up and zip tied chicken wire to it. There's a couple of things to keep in mind for if your chicken ever gets attacked, has any kind of flesh wound, you know, you see blood, that kind of thing. You can always put questions and comments down here. Here is my email address in case you have anything chicken related that I can help with. And we will be doing a couple more videos in the next few weeks in relationship to Callie, as far as how she's healing, us integrating her back, and seeing if the flock accepts their old boss lady. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you. All right, so we're back out here with the invalid, and real quick, I was going to show you as far as things you want to have on hand in case you ever have a predator attack or a chicken's just gotten beaten up by somebody else. Again, this could be a rooster, this could be they are confined in too small a space. So chickens can do this to each other, or a predator can do this. But first of all, have some kind of isolation pen. Again, this was a plastic bin that we converted into a brooder. It could be a dog crate. It could be any kind of little kennel where your chicken can be somewhere that's temperature controlled. It can stay cool. It can stay dark. Callie is here outside during the day because we're almost on week 2 of her healing. I recommend that you have a chick waterer and a chick feeder, just because it's good for one bird. It's not too big, and it's a lot harder for them to spill and make a mess, though not impossible. Then as far as the medical supplies, this is the stuff that I would keep on hand. Now, if I had to pick just one thing, I would pick the Vetericin, because like I said, it's really low maintenance for you to be able to just spray it and be done. And I mean, it does the job. Rooster Booster, this is vitamins and electrolytes. This smells a lot like vitamin C. It's kind of the equivalent of having a Powerade or a Gatorade that's got some extra vitamin boost in it. You can put this, the dimensions as far as the measurements are on the container. I'm only doing it once every 3 days for her. Most of the time your chickens, whether sick or injured or just normal, they need plain water most of the time. If you don't have Vetericin, you can use hydrogen peroxide, but remember, it's too intense, it's too harsh on their skin, so I would dilute it to about 50% with filtered water. This is Epsom salt if you feel like you need to soak them in a bath to try to see where the damage actually is, or I need to get off like some caked up dirt or something. And then this is the baby aspirin, and they're just little tablets that I crunch up and I put in with wet dog food. So this is the stuff that I would recommend. Again, if you have everything possible, you don't need that. The Vetericin, in my opinion, is better. I also have this little Tupperware kit that I keep with my animal supplies. This is stuff that is for bumblefoot. You can see my non-invasive treatment there that I do. You can read about it on realsimplemama.com. But this is the vet wrap that sticks to itself. I've made little square bandages out of just these gauze pads. This is just the cotton, you know, it's no adhesive or anything. That Prid is a drawing salve. And then if you feel like you need to clean a wound, you can use something like Neosporin, but it cannot have the pain additive in it. Anything that's pain relief can be deadly for chickens, that chemical that's in there for pain relief. So give them just the plain old stuff. But in Callie's case, with that big flesh wound on her back, I wore gloves. I cleaned her up. We were getting the old pieces of feather out, make sure there was no dirt, anything nasty in it, just with warm water, and just gently cleaning it and just gently cleaning her. Then once I knew I had all the debris and stuff and I could see the wound, I sprayed it with Vetericin. I did that 3 times a day until you're checking the wound and you're looking at it and you can tell, you know, it's closed up. And then at that point, I'm just continuing to leave her in here and let her heal gradually. We'll see over the next week if she's able to get up and walk around, if she acts like we're going to be able to integrate her into the flock. That's what we're doing for the wound cleaning. I'll have a quick list on realsimplemama.com as well. You can see the affiliate link down below for Vetericin if you want to help me out when you make your purchase. And let me know in the comments what you guys do to help take care of chickens if you've ever had an attack before, and what worked for you and your flock. Thanks for watching.